Okay, so here's our July stamped together. Thanks to everyone who's joining. We just want to celebrate anyone who's celebrating a birthday in July. And I don't think is any of you celebrating in July? No. Okay, Karen, what month is your birthday in? She might be on mute. Chantel M. So Chantel, if you're watching this, happy birthday, because she does have a birthday at the end of the month. It's Chantel with an S, the one from Brenda's team. So I think many of you have met her and she comments and stuff sometimes in the group. And then the other recognition or thing that we want to celebrate is this month, Brenda achieved the incentive trip for 2025. So that was kind of exciting. Over on the leaders board, we congratulated her. And I think I did a post in our group while you guys had a chance. But I'm still planning a summer soiree, and we'll have a little celebration because what else happened last month that we didn't get to celebrate was Sue promoted to silver, which was super exciting. So congratulations, Sue. So we'll celebrate all of that stuff together. And I can't remember what date I booked it for. I have to go find my picture because I didn't actually write that in my date book. But we'll get that posted ASAP so you guys can block that off so we can hang out again and have a nice summer night. Did anything else happen? Does anyone have anything to share or any good news that they want to share? It can be stamping related or it can be personal related. Anything awesome happened this last month?
It was my anniversary yesterday.
Happy anniversary. How many years?
28.
38?
Wow. 28.
Oh, 28. Wow. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And I guess, Cheryl, you had a successful surgery. That's worth celebrating.
Yeah.
Sorry, I muted. Jim was busy making noises. Yeah, it was fantastic. It's really gone well, actually way better than what I expected. So very happy. Thank you.
Okay, so that is that. And so our theme for this month is Christmas in July. And so I'm pretty excited with all the goodies Kim has put together for us. And did you see those little kits she made? The little candy kits? Oh my gosh, so adorable.
So are the candies inside.
I know, my favorite candies of all the Christmas candies. Those were my favorite. It's almost like she knew.
Kim, are these from the store that you mentioned at Cliff's Landscaping or something by there?
They might be there. I don't know, but I got them off of Amazon. A big bag.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
That was always going to be for me and the household. Usually, basically me. So, but they're yummy. I like the fact that they're hard, but then they just melt in your mouth and yumminess.
Oh, good.
I did just stop by that landscaping company, though. What's it called again, Kim? Glenn?
No. It's Landscaping.
It is.
Sweet Shop, I think, is what her part of the store is called.
It's amazing. Everything from dehydrated fruits. She does dehydrated food.
Like cakes and cookies and all that type of stuff too. Yeah. You can order like specialized things.
And the family is so nice. She had her son and husband were out there in the shop when I was there. And they were just so lovely to deal with. And then the mom was away, but she also has gotten in the business of doing like candy bouquets. So for events, like you can order up and she'll do up like an awesome candy bouquet that you can use as a gift. So there were some realtors in there picking them up as thank you gifts for their clients. Brilliant.
For anybody who has animals, she does popsicles, yogurt popsicles with no additives. So it's white or plain yogurt. And then she adds fresh fruit. It's all completely 100% allergy free and like lactose, you can get lactose free and for humans as well. So she does popsicles with little paw pad shapes where you can get bars for them. She sells them in packages, like 3 to a package or single and very reasonably priced. So a lot of frozen goods in this hot weather.
Yeah.
I was amazed, just amazed.
Maggie liked them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cherry or strawberry, I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Strawberry and white, I think plain yogurt or something.
It's plain yogurt with added fruit. Yeah, it's really cool. Anyways.
Okay. And so the other thing that happened this month is the new online exclusives are posted and they're available now for all to order, not just pre-order. And then we got 2 new kits that came out. that are super cool. In fact, that's what we were making. I had them do the beautiful kits, and that's also the kit I'm using for bingo next week. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's awesome. And then we got together for Creativity Now last month, and that was a fun time. Thanks to Cheryl, hosted us out at the tree farm, and Sue came. Was it just the three of us?
And Chantel,
Me.
Oh, and Chantel. Yeah.
just the
Chantel.
4 of us.
And we did some awesome projects, and I don't have them posted yet. We'll have to take some pictures, and I haven't even posted pictures because I've been meaning to send them to all of you guys first to get to approval. And then I just got sidetracked. So we'll get that done so that you can see all the awesome things. Kim's going to talk more about it because she's using some of that paper or sharing some of that paper for our projects. But that was a super fun event, or at least I thought it was. And I love the bundle. It was nice to get that pre-order and the paper.
Mm.
So hopefully that comes out on the 24th of this month. You're going to get to see the digital copy of the catalog. So the holiday catalog comes out for us to view online as demonstrators on the 24th. Pre-order is in August, and then it's open to customers in September for purchase. Rumor has it that Stampin' Up! Is having a new scrapbook line. I think you've heard me talk about that. And they also have now welcomed all the Close to My Heart demonstrators. When you're online looking at the online exclusives or things that are new, you're going to see a bunch of paper, a bunch of ink pads, things that you've never seen before, but sadly, we don't have the option to order them because it's only a commitment that they've made to those Close to My Heart demonstrators that have come on board.
And
I
also
tried.
past customers. I'm a
Yeah,
past
and their
customer.
customers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a past customer if you guys want anything.
Oh, so you've been able to add it to your cart?
I could, yeah.
No, because you're linked as a demonstrator, won't it? No?
Sherry Roth does it too.
Oh, interesting. Well, then let's talk, because yes, there is stuff in there I want.
Me too.
Well, I was under a different email address too, so maybe that's why. It
Bye.
was
Well,
my
and
old
so
email
what it
address.
is before Stampin' Up! Purchased out their scrapbook line, because that's what they bought out of Close to My Heart, they made an agreement to purchase all of this product that Close to My Heart had already ordered. So they had already ordered it, they just hadn't received it yet. And so they committed to taking it and having it available for their customers and demonstrators. So that's why you see it. But I think it's only for so many months and then it's going to be gone. Like we're not going to see it the whole time. But anyways, Stampin' Up! Is I had heard it on stage that a new scrapbook line was coming. And I just was on a global leaders, the Canadian think tank call, and Genevieve shared, she's pretty sure, the rumors are there that it's coming out in September. So we're likely, now don't hold me to it, because it might just be a rumor to see who's spreading false information. But supposedly in September is when we're going to see the scrapbook line, but it's not going to be part of the catalog we view in July, because apparently they weren't able to get it in time to make it as part of that. So it'll be a separate offering. But it's supposed to come in September. And she doesn't think there's going to be a pre-order option as part of it. It'll just be open to everyone. And it's probably more to see who is actually going to buy scrapbooking line products, right? Because it's been a long time, 20 years since Stampin' Up! Has offered that. So anyway, looking forward to it. Okay. Bonus Days is on. I don't know if all of you have been part of Bonus Days in the past, but for every $60 you spend, you get a $6 credit. And what happens is after you place your order, you'll get emailed all the codes. So make sure when you see that in your email, you also take a picture of it and put a heart on it. Make sure you put it in your favorites so that when you go to place your next order, those codes are easy to find. Because otherwise you're going to be like, where are these codes? So that's just a little tip, or write them down somewhere nearby so that you remember to go find them, but all month long. So any order that you place, you'll get that Bonus Day coupon code for that.
Or you could also flag it in your emails too. So then you have your little section of all flagged mail.
Yes. Good tip, Kim. Flag your email.
Yeah, but it's only for August orders. It has not.
That's right. Sorry. Yeah. That code you can't use this month. It's for next month, but you earn it this month. So you earn it this month, use it next month, which is good because it means that you can use it for your pre-order. So they're actually trying to align these specials or these offerings so that they actually benefit us. They've worked really hard to try and change their strategy for sales to help demonstrators. So they're trying to help you balance your quarterly sales minimums by offering pre-orders, offering new online exclusives and pre-orders. So they're trying to balance it so it's spread out across the year to make it easier so people don't want everything all at one time of the year. So it's kind of spread out. So I really like it. It's working, I think. It's working for me. I'm spending less money, I feel. I mean, I want more stuff, but I feel like I'm spending less on each order. What else is happening this month? I think I covered it all. I hope I did. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Okay. Okay, I think that that's all that I have to blab about. I was gonna do a game, but I don't have one created. So remind me next month to do it. But do not let us end this call without me giving door prizes, because I think last month I totally forgot to give away door prizes. I do have door prizes, so we will do that after Kim's make and takes. Sound good? And if I go to say goodbye, someone like stop me. Okay, Kim, after all that, we're gonna hand it over to you. Let's start Christmas in July. We should almost be playing Christmas music, but I'm just not for that in July.
That's right. We'll start off with what I call the, I guess, easier one. It's not like they're both hard, but this is kind of like pretty simple steps. It's the kit with all the white paper. You'll have it all pre-stamped for you already of the little truck. Your embellishments that you're going to have in here are the iridescent basic pearls, because I just love them. You get lots of them in a package, and they're nice and shimmery. And I like them because they covered up the hole in the snowflakes that I didn't really like. And the snowflakes are from, well, yeah, they're just a piece adhesive bag snowflake assortment. We got that, I think, maybe last Christmas catalog, maybe. It came with 3 colors, the gold, the copper, and the white. So you guys should have 5 snowflakes and 5 pearls. Now, if your kit's all together, we all know what happened. So, so you guys should all have at least one envelope for your cards, because I also ran out of envelopes, so I wasn't able to put an envelope for each card in there either. But make do with what you got. So you're going to have a piece of Whisper White thick, and that's 8.5 by 5.5. Then you're going to have your next layering piece at 3.5 by 5. And then you're going to have another piece of basic white, 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And that's the part that you have pre-stamped. So I borrowed the stamp sets. I don't have it here right now, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's an online exclusive as the truck punch and stuff like that. It's really cute. And with that set, you can also just ink up a stamp, and you can easily just stamp your truck, stamp your tree. But I figured we might not all have that, so I decided to go with our blends instead. So I'll just move the embellishments out of the way. Take a card, and I used the thick one this time because I actually found a package of thick white, so like bonus to me. And we're just going to fold that in half. Give it our nice. That's it for that.
And Kim, just so you know, that stamp set is called Trucking Along, and it's still an online exclusive, so it's still available, unlike a lot of other things.
So then your next piece is pretty simple. We're just going to pop that on dimensionals.
And the snowflakes were online exclusive as well. I don't know if they're still in there or not, though. They might be under clearance.
We found a female inside the home. We deemed it suspicious.
But a year later, investigators deemed her dead.
So should we have 2 layers then for
That's
the
still
truck
going
goes
on.
on another layer and then that goes on the card base?
Yes.
Sure. So please,
Okay.
I'm just going to the first layer where we're putting it on dimensionals. Because there's no stamping on that piece. We're just putting it on our card. I also left the inside blank so that you guys could put whatever stamp set or greeting you want to put in there. Get it all off. You just center that.
Okay, who has noise in the background on?
we're excited.
Somebody's husband's talking. Not mine, he's shaving.
Not mine.
I'll set the TV. You want
I'm
to-
sorry, because I missed what you just said. So is the
So the second,
first mat right on the card base, and then the truck, the stamped truck one is going to be dimensionals, or the other way around?
the very first piece is dimensionalized.
Okay, thank you.
Because we have to color, so we're not going to be doing anything until this is colored.
Yeah. Okay.
So obviously I use Memento ink for stamping because we're using blends. Of course, I already pre-stamped everything. The markers that I used was dark basic black, dark and light smoky slate. You could also use gray granite. It's all up to you. It's just so little you wouldn't notice it really. The truck I colored in dark real red and light real red. And the Christmas tree I colored in mossy meadow, light and dark. And I don't know if you guys still have this product. I think you can probably find it in other stores right now, but we used to sell it, the stamping chalk marker. I pulled that out of my stash because I wanted to look like a little bit of snow without having like goopiness or, you know, muckiness to everything. So I colored the tires black. I just used the bullet end because I find I have better control with that end. And all the stamping is from the same stamp set, even the greeting. So that's all you're doing with the black is just the tires. And then the gray, I just did like the little bumpers in the front and the back, the little steering wheel and that little mirror. So the mirror is kind of hard to really see. And you don't really need the dark, I guess, because it's such little. It just depends what you want. And then with the tree, I did light first. I always do light first. And all I did was kind of dot it because I wanted a little bit of the white showing too. And I'm just kind of, not scribbling per se, but just kind of dotting it. See how it's not really perfect? And that's with the light first. Then I'm going to come in with the dark. And I'm going to do like the same idea. Just kind of squiggly lines and kind of wiggle it around and add little dots here and there. It's like the quickest coloring you can do.
It's blurry. There you go.
So you're still leaving a bit of white. You're just kind of not like scribble lines, but just like dots, like little quick movements. Then you're going to come back in with your chalk marker. And that's where you're going to add, again, you're kind of doing the same idea. And when you first put it on, it's kind of watery-ish because it's kind of a more liquidy type of pen. I don't know if you can see how it's opaque, watery color. But as it dries, it gets a little bit more opaque, like soft. And that's all I did with the tree. Then I got my two reds, both real red. And I left the white walls. Guess I'll bring back my black. I did the centers as well. I guess depending on the age of your truck, you can color it anything you want. White walls or not. And then all I did with this, again, I did with my light, and I just kind of do a quick outline.
Interesting.
My truck. So, underneath the window. On the little bird. Again, I'm using the bullet tip. Again, just that's my preference. Like some people like the brush tip. I just find I have a little bit better control of where I want my ink to go when I'm doing it this way. And I'll start kind of filling it in a little bit. Nothing perfect. Then I'm going to come back in with my dark. And this is where I'm going to highlight basically where you're going to have a shadow. I want to make that well, I guess, or whatever that thing's a little bit darker. Anything where the artist has already put a black line, I'm going to make that my dark. So all around the door, around that back window, definitely where the tree is, because the tree is going to give you some shadow. Definitely on the undercarriage of the truck. Again, just kind of tracing it out. Again, if you want, you can go back over those lines more than once. So it's like not pretty. Just kind of, and then I'm going to take my brush in, and that's where I get to quickly fill it in. You could also use Pool Party if you want for the windows. I kept them clear, but you could certainly add a bit of Pool Party to make it look like a glass window, but I didn't think it needed it. And then I come back with my dark, And I want to go back over those already designated lines. Because that's like where you're going to have the most wear, most shadow. And as the ink dries and stuff, it will blend itself more and more. So there you go. And then you're going to take back your little chalk marker pen. And like I said, it's this, and you're just going to trickle like a little line above. It looks like snow's kind of landed on top of that well. By the door, definitely on the roof. You're just kind of putting it where you feel happy. On the hood a little bit, definitely underneath the tree. Like I said, once that dries, you can go over it again because right now it kind of looks pink. Or if you have a white gel pen, that's another great pen to have in your stash. Even though it's not a Stampin' Up product, but it's another great thing to help you with anything that you want to have highlighted in white. There you go. Like I said, you can always come back later. You can let it dry a little bit and then come back later. And that's what I wanted it a rough look. I didn't want it to be perfectly pristine. And that's it.
Well, no, it's an old truck, so it can't be perfect.
Yeah, you can even add rust if you wanted to go with the copper clay marker, or even pecan pie, or even crumb cake. You can do like layers if you want to do it. You could do a blue truck, but I thought red and green were Christmas colors, so it's kind of like how I did it. And then this is just totally flat with your seal or tear tape or whatever flat source of adhesive that you have, and you're just going to mat that onto that first mat like so. So then that's your layers, and then you're just going to add your snowflakes. Where if you have 3, put 3. If you have 2, put 2. I'm sure some of you have these at home if you don't have enough in your kit. The only reason why I put 5 because normally I'm a 3-person, person, but I did a smudge over here and I didn't want to redo the whole card, so I just added an embellishment. So then I'm like, oh, now I gotta have 5 because I can't be 4. So that's why I ended up being 5. Or you could do none. Either way, it looks good, and that's all you do for that card. Like so.
What did we need the shaded spruce for?
Not shaded spruce, it was mossy meadow
Oh, okay.
for the Christmas tree. Light and dark.
I thought you said shaded spruce somewhere. I
And
guess.
but I meant mossy meadow.
No, you did say that too, but I thought I heard both.
Kim, did you put the pearls inside of the snowflakes? Is that what you did or not?
Yeah, I did because I didn't like the hole.
Okay.
So that's why I put and I thought I would add a little bit of sparkle more to the snowflake. That's the only reason why I did that. If the snowflake didn't have a hole, I probably wouldn't have not added the pearls, but I
But it
couldn't.
looks pretty.
That's just a Kim thing.
But it's pretty.
And that, so like you can do none or you can do with. Both look and this is like a very what they call it, clean card, which is really hard for me to do because I usually mess it up somewhere, like I said, with an ink spot or something, because I can never keep a white card white. So this was a challenge. And what's cute too, if you had like the little stars, I know we used to have little star embellishments, you could put it on the top of the little Christmas tree. I think that'd be really cute. And with Castella, you can't go wrong with that. That's another thing you certainly add to make a little bit more sparkle. You can even flick it on here and you would have like sparkles like everywhere. Another thing you do, well, I don't know. That'd be kind of difficult to do. I was going to say you could also try and emboss with our snowflake embossing folder, but that'd be kind of tricky, I think, around that truck. But I'm sure there's a way you can figure it out. Probably put a mat over top of the truck and then run it through somehow. But yeah, and like this is a very quick card. You can certainly make lots of them, and like even like I said, the coloring is not needing to be perfect. It's meant to be like that vintage, rough, old truck. So nothing needs to be, pristine.
Super cute card, Kim, and you're right. It is very simple for you. But it's awesome. And you know what? That's the other thing. Snap It Up is trying to keep it simple. They really are challenging us to make simple cards, share simple on social media because it just brings back the joy. And then once you got simple down, well, you can go and embellish the heck out of it, right? Like look at your card there. One has the embellishment, one does not. And they both look great depending on, what you want to do with it.
You can certainly go way more than that. Like I said, you could add like a Stella to make it more sparkly. You could add a little star to the tree. You could add a little bow to the truck. And like I said, and if you could figure out a way, and I know there's a way because I've seen it done before, where you put something in the embossing folders, but the image itself doesn't get embossed, but everything around it gets embossed. So that would be really neat to have that snowfall falling around the truck, but the truck being flat and not disturbed by the embossing folder.
Yes.
I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but I could try.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've just seen it like put in from one end and then put in from another end, and that's it.
I guess that's one way you could do it for sure. You would just have maybe that transition line.
And now it's like I can normally find my old chalk pen, and now I can't find. Like I had 3 of them lying around here at one time. Now that
Another good pen too is the white gel pen, which I don't think we've ever sold a gel pen that I'm aware of.
No.
But I know Michael's or at other places, even other craft stores or even maybe dollar stores might have them and stuff like that. And like once you get them running, they're good. It's when they kind of clog up, they're not so good. But we'll give you
even a white crayon. Actually, I'm gonna try a white crayon. I mean, it won't have the same effect as your chalk pen, but you know what? Sometimes the white crayon needs to be pulled out.
Or another one, take out your watercolor pencil.
The white one?
Because that one never gets used, but I'm pretty sure it would work on this.
Yeah, well, let me try it.
Go over it a couple of times, but in theory, it should work.
Yeah, I can't really test it because I have crayon on everything now.
See if I can find mine.
But it's still not as white as your chalk pen.
Okay, here's a white. Let's give it a try. Here, I'll quickly color it just in one color red.
Now I've wrecked my truck.
There. Oh yeah, it works. Like I said, you have to press a little harder, and you might have to come back.
Might have to sharpen your pencil.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
definitely a pinker look versus a white look,
Yeah.
right? So, I guess the more you work at it, the darker it gets. Maybe you add water to it. I don't know if I would want to do that. But... So, like, the more layers, it does get a little bit whiter. So, I mean, that's an option too. It's just a fainter look versus the other ones, but work with what you got sometimes. So there's kind of like a 3 version pencil crayon. That is a cute little truck. That's why people don't use it more. Because
Maybe
they have
more things that coordinate with it for Christmas.
well, they have presents in the set, I believe, and palm trees. And
Yeah,
and don't forget, you don't want to color with your markers. They also have the inside stamp that you just stamp the truck, whatever color you want, and you can stamp the tree whatever color you want. So like they're filler stamps. But I knew you guys may not all have it, so I figured markers of any kind you probably would. Even pencil crayons, you could color this in pencil crayon too to be just as pretty. Yeah, the paper I use on your guys' treat boxes is that new wood grain, which the other side has little pussy willows on the other side. Or I think they're pussy willows. That's how we look at them, but maybe that's not what they are, but I call them pussy willows. And on the thing, I was trying to find a green paper because they have birds that have a gorgeous green stripe. But I pulled out this instead, which is our old Christmas paper. But they both go together because it's the same green. So don't be afraid to put new and old together. And that's what I made your little treat boxes out of, new and old DSP. With garden
Thank you for sharing that link too, Kim, to her video.
Out of a paper pumpkin kit.
Yeah,
So I thought that's a cool idea too. Like, hey, let's think about what we could do with a paper pumpkin kit.
yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
was
really
kind of
cute. I really like it.
that stuff. So I kind of got her inspiration and then went different. Because I really like those birds in that new paper, and I just like, oh, it's so fun to fussy cut those birds. I know, not everybody's a fussy cutter. And that paper is called Nests of Winter. And this is the sheet with the birds. Like, isn't it gorgeous? I hate
Where
it when
did you get the Mary from?
and then that's the green stripe. So I couldn't give up the green stripe because I really wanted to keep the birds. So
Where
that's
did you
how
get the
I had
Mary from?
my alternative. And that, but it's really pretty. So I wanted everybody to have a little bird and some greenery and stuff from that paper.
Kim, where did you get the Mary from?
Oh, those are a wood embellishment that we had. Gosh, I don't even know how many years ago. There's these little
Okay.
wood things that they were really difficult to pop out, and they had little Christmas trees and stars with that too. And
Right.
but you had to be really careful because they could break really easy.
They probably came out around the same time as those framelits in that same font.
Maybe because it was the words were Noel, Mary, and Joy were the three words I had to choose from, or what I
Yeah,
had
there's framelits in those too.
and stuff. So, but hey, I got rid of some of my product. And it worked because I didn't have to change the color. They were already gray, which really worked nice because there was that tone in that color of the paper too. So it just worked really nice.
Yeah.
So that's
Do you-
card number 1.
Where do you get those little Velcro things? Can you just get those at the dollar store?
I got them in Beaumont at the Dollar Tree and they look like this. I'll show you. I just got myself a new package. And they're called fastener dots.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I use because it comes with both the fuzzy and the sticky part.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure you probably get them at any fabric store would have them. I'm assuming probably Walmart. Michael's probably would too, for sure. But yeah, I go wherever I can find something a little bit economical. I won't say cheap. Oops. Bring it all pieces here. So this is the card we're making next. This Christmas card. Again, I also left the middle blank for you guys to put in whatever you want.
Do we need our blending brushes?
Yep, you'll need one. I don't know how you guys do yours. I have my blue brush and I have my purple. Because I use this all for my blues and I use this all for my purple. But if you have Pacific colors, then I would say my blue would be Balmy Blue and my purple would be Highland Heather, if you had a brush for each color, which I do not. And so in this kit, the stamps that I'm using is Sparkling Snowflake, which is a carryover. We got it, I think, in our last Christmas. I always call it Christmas catalog, but you know, whatever, fall. And it's in our catalog this year, but it's under that the bundles that are carried over. And it's called Sparkly. So like this one comes with a punch. I never got the punch because it doesn't coordinate with any of the snowflakes on this stamp set. It's kind of like its own thing on its own, which is cute, but I just never got it. The words I use is Let It Snow, which is also from the same stamp set. I use the peony die. Oh yeah, I want to tell you about this. I use this for the box I made you with the treats as well because I really like this border. I think it's really cute and adds like a little something something. And I don't have any of the new border ones, so like I said, work with what you got. So that's what I use this stamp for. It's just particularly for that border piece, not the flowers or anything else. It's just kind of funny because I'm a flower person. That's what I'm using, is the Peony dies. I also use the Eyelet 3D embossing folder, which is new. I think you can see the pattern on there.
What do you got on?
And I did that with the Highland Heather. So I did all your pieces, I believe.
No, mine's not done.
Oh, well, then you guys can pick your own. Maybe you guys can pick your own, whatever folder you want. You can have snowflakes. You could have wood grain. You can have this one. Whatever you like. But I use the Eyelet because it's current. And I just put the Highland Heather piece with the 3.5 by 5, ran it through my Big Shot, and that's what I came up with. So feel free to pick whatever one you want to do. This is what I have the edging with. It's the Balmy Blue, which is 5 inches by 3 4 inches, which the other measurement doesn't really freaking matter because all you're doing is butting it underneath, right? You just need to have a little bit extra so that you can put adhesive on. The length is important. The width on this part isn't really essential. And then the other pieces are basic white, 4.5 by 3 1/8, and then you could have another piece of 4 3/4 and 3 1/4. Be careful with these because these are different, and you need these to be. Is this the one you're going to be? I think I pre-stamped on one of them. Whatever the one with all your snowflakes are, is the one that you're going to be blending and everything. So it's probably this piece, and I'll tell you how to do the rest of it later. And then, of course, your regular card base is 8.5 by 5.5 basic white. We're using this pretty ribbon, which is the silver and kind of see-through white. And you're going to have two different lengths, because you're going to have one that's shorter than the other and one that's a little bit off. Yeah, it just says silver and white. Because you're going to wrap one around, then you're going to tie a little bow. And then the adhesives, this is a retired product, but I thought it was really cute and kind of went with theme. So why not use what you got? And it's the little snowflakes that we used to have, the iridescent, like kind of see how they shimmer in the blues and purples, and I thought that worked with the colors we were using. So that's your embellishment. Then you should also have 3 circles, one in Highland Heather, one in Balmy Blue, one is with a stitch, one is with a punch, and I punched that out with the 1.5 inch punch. And then you're going to have another stitch where I stamped Let It Snow and Gorgeous Gray. That's only, I love that color. Such a nice dark purple. So those are your 3 circles. And those are the circles I got from the Stylish Shape dies. I forgot to say that. But I also use that die set as well. Then you need your 2 brushes and regular adhesive and that type of thing. So I've already punched through that, so we'll move that along. So I'm going to go to my card base here. Like always, fold in half. And I just put that off to the side because we don't really need to do anything more with that at the moment. I'm going to grab our Balmy Blue and our Highland Heather. Once you guys are done finding what embossing folder appeals to you, feel free to go find it. And then you can use liquid glue, you can use tear tape, you can use your seal, whatever adhesive you want of choice. I'm trying to find where I put my liquid glue. Probably put it in something else. Oh well, I'll just use this. And I just put it at the top. So my glue's at the top, and then I just want to put that down. Even though it's crooked, it's not going to matter because I'm lining it up from the edge to the top of those little swirls. And that's how I know I'm going to get it straight. And then I'm just going to press. So now that's that panel with this little finished decorative border look, which I thought was cute. This is going to be just put off to the side for now. I'm done. And then you have your 4 3/4 by 3 1/4 basic white. That's going to go flat right on top of your Highland Heather embossing piece. No stamping or anything on that one, nothing fancy, just putting it on. Again, with that, sometimes I use my tear tape when I'm doing anything with surface that it's been raised like that, just so it gives it a little bit more adhesive to it. But tonight I'm just using my regular adhesive. Make sure you have a little border purple all the way around the top and the 3 sides. The bottom could be a little bit more. So then you're going to have that panel. So. And then I'm going to move this over here. And the stamps I use, there's 2 different styles. I use the one with the most detailed, the 3 different sizes. These are like filler stamps that you can fill in these, but I use the ones that are more patterned. Take this out. 3. And that's what I use Smoky Slate for. My ink colors are Smoky Slate, Balmy Blue. Gorgeous Grape was only for stamping that. That's all you need it for, which I've already done. And Highland Heather. So these are the 2 colors that you're going to be blending with. And the gray is what I stamped your guys' snowflakes in. A big crash. You only know how my desk looks right now. It ain't pretty. 1. This is how I like to put my stamps on. I kind of lay them down and then put them on, because then they're not bent or Willy Wonkas in any way. And I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to go with my biggest snowflake first. And you can put a piece of paper underneath this if you don't want to mess up your desk or anything like that. Or if you already have your grid paper, that's fine. And I'm just going to stamp off. And there's the 3 in the big. And I'm going to go to my next size. I'm going to go here. I'm going to switch here. And then I'm going to go with my little tiny one in the middle and a little bit off to the edge. And each one will be different because, you know, everybody just, you don't automatically stamp everything the same. And that's all we're using the Smoky Slate for. So now your little piece looks like something like that. Then I'm going to take the blue first, because to me the blue is lighter than the purple. I'm going to take my blue, make sure my cat hair is off of it, because he likes to rub against it. Just going to go swish swish. And like I said, I'm on my glass plate, so I'm not too worried about getting it too dirty. And then I'm going to kind of work off and just lightly start with my blue. And I'm just kind of going all over, not really designated really area. And then I'm going to come in and press a little harder, grab a little bit more ink. And you're just going to add your layers. Till you like it. And then I always keep it open because I might always come back. Then I take my purple. I do the same thing. Gather some ink up. I'm just slightly going over to any of the white zone that kind of didn't have any blue on it. Now I'm going to add that purple. Just for that first layer. And then I can come in, and I can definitely go darker. I can get it over the blue a little bit and blend them in together, because then that will make a different color purple altogether. Like I said, you can darken wherever you want. You get the center a little bit dark. If you want, you can go back with the blue. You feel like you left it a little bit too light, you can come in and switch that around till you're happy, and then it's going to look like that. Just kind of like a soft background of the 2 colors. And that's all you're doing for the blending part. And then we're going to take our cutter and we're going to cut our pieces at 1.5 inches. So you're going to cut twice. So 1.5, cut, keep that piece in line. 1.5. You want to keep them in order. I just usually cut and put them the way I did it, like that. That's what they look like. And there's the measurements. So that's what they look like. Then I'm going to take my panel back and I'm going to use adhesive. You could use liquid glue. You could use, you know, any tape that's going to give it a flat look. You don't want this bumped up yet. Then I'm going to just lightly, so you can see this, I'm going to lightly put this so it kind of has a bit of a border, but I'm not going to put like press down on it quite yet. That's my middle piece. Then I'm going to do the other outside edge piece. Just gently lay it down. And then I'm going to find my middle piece. Because what you're trying to do is get a equal border around and still a little bit in between. Once I like it, then I go ahead and smoosh it down. So then you have like that. So you have that little division between the 3 pieces. Then you're going to take your piece of ribbon, which this one is like 6.5. And this is where tear tape, or if you happen to have Scotch tape or anything like that, is handy. And get yourself 2 pieces. And you're just going to find about there. And you're going to turn it over and tape that ribbon down because no one's going to see that. And then you can pull it nice and taut across. Pull it tight at the back. And put your tape down. So you have your little, isn't that pretty? Ribbon like so. This one came undone. That's just I used a different type of tape. I would have preferred the other tape, but it's easy fix. Then you're going to take your ribbon. You should have another piece. And I like doing the buddy bow ribbon where you just take 2 loops, you make an X, you have that back pocket, you're tucking one of the ears in the hole, and voila. And every time it works. And if you do it on the roll like this, you waste less ribbon. And then just snip your ends. And if they fray, because this is a very fraying ribbon, so you may want to clean up your ends a bit. And then you're just going to use a glue dot to attach the ribbon. With their greeting, the blue is flat onto the purple. Just center it so you have a nice, like so. And the white is the same thing, just flat on flat. Just make sure you have a nice center. Like so. Then you got to get your little snowflakes. I'm going to put one right at the top. And then this is on dimensional. And I'm going to get my glue dot because I want to get my ribbon on. And I use the glue dots out of my paper pumpkin kits I have. Each kit sometimes comes with If I want to see, those are quite tiny. I like the bigger ones, to be honest. But like I said, work with what you got. And I put 2 because these are quite tiny. But it depends what you have at home. You might have a better selection. And then I'm going to just put my little bow there. Then I'm going to take my greeting and tuck it just above the little bow, like so. And then I'm going to turn that all over, and that's all going on dimensionals.
Everyone's busy working away, but Kim, this is an absolute beautiful card.
And then a card or base, instead of opening it like a book, we're opening it like a hamburger or this direction. And then you just put your whole panel right on top of your card, leaving your border, and then add the rest of your little snowflakes. Again, now I don't know how many everybody has anymore. But like I said, you could use pearls. You could use what do you call that stuff that's liquid that we have? And they dry into a dot.
The pearl effects.
Crystal effects?
Yeah. Just make sure that you put it off to the side. Make sure you don't have anybody that's going to be bothered someone just stepping into it. Yeah, so I just put 3. And like I said, you literally could put them anywhere, but I just put 1 on the greeting and 2 off to the side. And like I said, each one of them is a little bit different in horographic colors, but that's card number 2.
This might have to be one of my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack cards. In different shades.
Oh yeah, you could do them in any color.
It's beautiful,
I-
Kim. Thank you.
If you want to make it even more interesting, you could even emboss the snowflakes in silver or gold, but silver usually tends to be a winter color. So then they would be a little bit shinier. This is just ink on.
Very nice, Kim. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gorgeous, just gorgeous.
I am gonna put everyone's name on the wheel who purchased a kit or is here tonight. Let me find a wheel.
Then don't forget, I also have technique. I have 4 cards to show you there.
Yes, that's right. I will do 1 draw so that we don't forget. Okay, so I've got Kim, Cheryl, Sue, Lorette, Diane, Karen, Deborah. Am I missing anyone else?
Me.
Chantel, apparently I'm missing you for everything today. It's just because you're too quiet. You better start being a little louder. And Sherry, I don't have Sherry in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sherry, speak up.
Jim, did you pop up, sorry, did you pop this up before you put it down on the white base, right?
A whole panel, the purple with white and the stamped images are all flat on each other, but the
Yeah.
panel itself is on dimensional, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm kind of like Brenda that way. I barely ever do anything flat on flat, to be
Yeah.
honest. I like a lot of layers.
Okay, this is interesting. All my Zoom options are completely different. So Brenda's onto something about what she was saying, how everything looks different yesterday, because it looks different. I cannot figure out how to share my screen to share the wheel.
You was having problems with that too.
Yeah, it's because they switched over to this new workplace Zoom. And yeah. Okay, well, you know what? It's saying I can share a portion of my screen. Okay, can you guys see my wheel now?
No,
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 do we need to pin you though?
Nope. What do you see?
me,
You, we see Kim.
Yeah. my desk.
Oh, I see Kim.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't see it on any of my screens.
Okay, yeah, it's wanting too many passwords. We're gonna zip that. Okay, well, you guys are just gonna have to trust me and I'll take a picture and post it after. Let's give it a spin. All of your names are on there and you just get first pick of the 3 prizes I have. Oh my gosh, Chantel, it pays to be forgotten. Whoa, congratulations. You win the first pick for the door prize. Okay, let me just unpin Kim. I'll pin you back, Kim, in just 1 sec. That's assuming it's going to let me share my camera, which we're going to just change my video camera.
Oops.
It didn't share anything, did it? It shared my phone camera.
I
Oh
can
my gosh.
You can see a black Trisha S.
Mhm.
That's all.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Over to my telephone.
Mm.
Oh, right. So okay, just wait. I'm gonna spotlight me. Okay, is it still black or do you see my like scared face?
You.
Now we see
Oh, my
you.
dimensionals. Okay. So the prizes for tonight, Chantel, that you get to choose from is we have a package of the iconic Celebration 6x6 DSP. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it has Christmas trees. It has some like red leaves and holly. It's got candy canes. I need water. Apparently I'm out of I'm out of ice. Hearts. Oh, this is why Chantel needs it. All the wine.
What
Polka
are you
dots.
trying to say?
It's got acorns and polka dots. It's got, excuse me.
Is that an online
It's
exclusive,
so
Trisha?
crazy.
Because I know I looked at it.
Yeah, it's an online, it was a pre-order for an online exclusive. It has birthday candles. It has fireworks. Sue, you need this to go with your new fireworks stamp set.
Well, she can't have it if I take it.
There's like Christmas trees in like moody mauve, and there's snowflakes in like a blue color, both are blue. It's going to be an interesting celebration. We have confetti. We have more patterns. We've got lovebirds, and we've got like stars.
Those are doves.
Oh, well, whatever, doves. Oh, green or not green, pecan pie Christmas trees.
Huh.
Movie mauve, stars, and then stripes. Anyways, all kinds. And I think you get 4 sheets of each pattern. So there's 48 sheets of designer series paper in that sheet. So anyways, I just had to show you because I'm not opening that up, but there's a 6x6 pack there for you to choose from. Or there is the dotted circle 3D embossing folder. This is that embossing folder that's like 8.5 inches long.
It's a good one.
Yeah, huge. Or we've got a package of the new Graceful Greenery Vellum. It's 6 pages of vellum, and Cheryl says it's absolutely beautiful.
I don't have that, so I'm going to have to take that.
This one? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your name is on it. Okay, now back over to you, Kim. I'm removing my spotlight. We will spin for the other 2 prizes after.
So
Okay.
yeah, so the next technique that we're covering in the catalog is on page 122 to 123, and it's called Shake It Up. which I think a lot of you probably already know how to do a lot of shaker cards and stuff like that. I would say 3 of these are kind of very similar. This is the only one that's slightly different, but we kind of did it in a card that we did. Oh gosh, maybe it was last year we made it. Remember when we made that card that was like the clear envelope as our front? And then we had stuff in it. This is kind of like the same idea, but a different spin. I also added the video that Stamping Up came out with just literally the other day. So I added it to the Twisted Dabs as well. So you can take a look at that. It's a very quick video of this particular card that they have online. So the inks that they used on this card, because I went to the recipe book again, is Peach Pie, Lemon Lolly, Azure Afternoon, which I haven't used this hardly ever, and Pecan Pie are the colors for that card. And the stamp set that they're using is Cake Fancy, which I think is a carryover. I think it's a carryover set, or maybe it was an online exclusive. I'm not sure which one. I get confused. But this is the set that we're using. And of course, I'm using this section here for the main part of the cake. Of course, the stand. And then I'm using the flowers and then the little leaves, these 3 little leaves and this little flower here. And this is a leaf, but it could be a little heart, but I'm using it kind of like a heart leaf. I did add there's lots of other things, and there's like different words. The words I used is enjoy. And this is a neat way because you're taking this word and you're putting it together with this. So you could take 2 different fonts and mush it together. So that's the stamp that I'm using. Now I don't have the sprinkles that are in here, which is called, what is it? The Frosted Dots. But I do have leftover gold glitter sequins from Stamping Up Flakes, which why not use what I have? Like I said, use what you got. Makes you feel good when you use up all your stuff. So that's what I used instead of. And then of course you need one of our clear envelopes. And stuff. And try to make sure you pick one without any damage. You don't want any damage to any of the edges, because you don't want things, falling out. So make sure that, because sometimes, you don't realize that, some of them sometimes have a tear. So just double check that before you start this process, that you have a well-sealed envelope. Not that I'm talking from experience or anything. The card base, again, is a standard 3.5 by 5.5 peach pie. Then you're going to have another layer of peach pie. And I can quickly move this stuff off the side. I didn't write down measurements. Funny, huh? But my mat will say.
Are you talking about pecan pie?
Peach. It's our new ink color.
Oh, okay.
And so it measures
I'm not familiar with
4
it.
by 5.5. It's the second layer. Then of course you have the inside card, which is 4 by 5.25. Because I don't like always writing message on the, I'd rather have a nice clean slate. So I always kept myself inside. And then you're going to need a front piece, which is the same size, 4 by 5.25. Because you're just matting that up against this piece. Because you want this piece to give this stability, and you want it to be able to fit in it. So you can't be any bigger than what your envelope allows. And you don't want it to be too small either, because then your envelope would be here and your things would be off to the side. So you don't want it too big and you don't want it too small, type thing. So you're just going to fold that in half as per usual. And then I'm just going to take my inside, because I always like getting that stuff done. Again, you could say happy birthday, you could stamp something wonderful, you could add DSP, you can, do a bunch of different things, but I just kept it pretty plain. So there's my inside. And then the outside, I'll just put that off to the side because we got to do some stamping. But I don't want to lose my page either. This one over here.
Kim, what did we use these pearls for? And I have 2 in case anybody is missing pearls.
Are they little white pearls?
Yeah.
Shiny little white pearls?
Yeah.
That was on the, here it is.
The truck card?
Yep, where you put it right inside the middle of the snowflakes.
Oh, okay.
That's where those are from.
Okay. I missed that part. Sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome. So then you take your piece and you're going to take your pecan pie, and that's going to be the base of your cake, I guess cake stand. You just want to line it up on your, like so. You want to be kind of like in the middle, but not too in the middle. And that's it, which is kind of nice because it gives you kind of like a gradient look. It has dark shadows and light. And then we're going to come back to that for the leaves. Then you're going to take the cake piece, and it's the little rectangle, but if you look at it on your stamp, you'll see it kind of has like a weird pattern on it. And it gives you that light version versus dark version. And this is lemon lolly. And I'm going to want the dark at the base, but you can have it light. You can switch it around this way if you want. It just depends. You want to line that first piece up just above your cake stand, like so. So there's how you have a dark piece, and then it kind of gives you a very light. That's supposed to look like that. And then you're just going to triple stack it, like so. My cake's lopsided. I'm not a good baker. So keep that. And then you're going to come back. I want to do my words first. So that's, you're going to get your Azure Afternoon, which is a nice pop of blue with this color combination. Like I would have never thought of that on my own, but it's kind of neat. So you take your Enjoy, which is like a hand script, and you want to just kind of put it just to the left, like so. And then you're going to take your Print, your Special Day, and you're just going to line that right underneath that. So you have like this interesting way of using the fonts and stuff instead of just one way. And that's all we're doing for the words. Let me get my flowers out here. I got lots of them. And then my leaves. Oh well. Oh, there it is. Stick on a clear mat, you'll never see it. So I want to take this first one, and then you're also having your peach pie. So mine's this one. I don't know if it's me or if it's just the way this ink stamps is kind of weird. And you're going to make that first flower. See how kind of spotty weirdness. So I don't know if I need to scrape some of that ink off to give it a bit of, because this is like a distinctive stamp set. So maybe that's my problem with the stamp. Who knows? Or it could be me. Put that one on. Then I'm going to go back with this other flower, which is like a, it has the 2 points. And I'm going to back in the blue. I'm going to just have that snuggle right next. And I want it to pop over onto the cake. And then I'm going to take this little flower. I always think of it as like a tulip or that type of flower it reminds me of. And I'm going to pop that just on top of the cake at a little bit of an angle in that same blue. And that's all we need for blue. We're done with that color. Put that off to the side. And then we're going to take, there's another little flower. We're going to go lemon lolly. We're going to just pop that right up top. It's hard to see because it's so light. And then take my little heart, put it in the peach pie, and we're going to tuck it just off the edge. And that's it for peach pie. Again, that's a new ink color. And that's it for lemon lolly. And then we're going to bring back the pecan pie because we're going to do some leaves. So you have this pattern, which this is my favorite leaf out of them all. Is that one. I just love that leaf. I'm just going to stamp 2 of those. Then you're going to take the other little leaf, which is like a little 2, like bunny ears to me. You're just going to come in here, turn it around, and tuck it underneath. And they seem to be doing patterns of 2. And you're taking this really tiny little leaf, and you're just going to pop it right there. So that's all the stamping you're doing. So that's your little cake with this words. Like I said, this was a little bit sloppy. And then you're going to take that, attach it to your peach pie front panel. Kind of like you're just building a card like regular. Then you're going to put that end with the sticky tab, you know how we have that little bit of that plastic cover that covers the stickiness? We want that in the front because we're going to be sticking it at the back, right? So you're just putting it in your panel like so. Then you take, like if you had those dots or any other sequins, or you could crank out a bunch of like little dots or little, you know, embellishments from all our dies. We have all those different little dies. And then you just pour in the front, the card. That much. Spill. And then I try to pick a side because there is a little bit of a edge difference. With the clear, it's kind of hard to see. On my hand, maybe you can see that little bit of clear plastic. So I got to make sure the card is at one side. Make sure it's pressed down to the bottom. I take off that backing to the envelope and I make that tight. Like that, nice and tight. Then I find my hair tape. Now you could also use probably what do you call it? Not packy tape, but crescent tape or whatever, like this tape, Scotch tape, to fold that little, because I wanted it a tighter fit, so I just want to fold that little bit of extra plastic over. So you can just use that to hold it in place. Or you could do that with tear tape too. And the tear tape, what's nice about that is if you do use the tear tape, then you can just tear off the back and you already have adhesive at the back ready to go on that one side. But I just wanted to have it tighter. So I just band over that little bit of, you know, it's a little bit tighter in there. Then it's easier to shake things around and it's not going to fall out. Then you're going to take your tear tape. I use tear tape because this is plastic. And plastic's kind of annoying. Liquid glue would not work for this. And then I'm just going to run a strip here, a little bit in the middle, and at the bottom. Then I'm going to take my card base, going to take all that glue off. Then how I do it is I just balance it between my hands and slowly come together, and then it will be the front of your card. So it looks like this. Does it come off? And that's technique number 1 out of the 4.
Love it, love it, love it, Kim. I do love these easy shaker cards because you're right. Putting them in the envelope is so much easier than kind of avoiding a mess from using the acetate sheets, because normally we'd use acetate sheets, line it with like some of that foam, and then sometimes you might actually accidentally have a gap and then out comes all the sequins. This is just so much cleaner and it's the same fun effect.
There's 2 done. Like I said, it's pretty simple. This one might have overfilled a little bit, but like, I mean, you fill it to your, if you want more, you can fill more. If you want less, put less.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did they quit making those little bags, Trisha? Do you know?
No, I'm hoping they're going to come out with something new. We'll see what comes in the mini, but I have no idea why they canceled. I haven't heard. No, and that's
There's
not
no
true.
reason.
That's not true. Those are back. Those are online. We can purchase the cello bags again.
I thought it had something to do with like plastics in California or something, but I could.
Did it? But I'm sure that they were an option for me to order when I ordered the last bingo order.
Which size? Like are they
They're
4 by
6 by 8.
I like that size.
Well, the 6x8 ones, yeah, they don't sell. Sorry, I was talking about these envelopes, the peel and
Yeah, they can still
clear
sell
envelopes.
Oh yeah, no, you can, they're still in the
Oh.
catalog.
Okay,
Oh, are
those
they?
you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get them for $10.25, and the code number is 102619.
okay.
So in the chat, Trisha, I put a picture of the Uline 5 by 7 clear envelope.
Oh, thank
You can get there. I don't know if that's expensive or not. It's 1,000 for 7 cents. So
Oh, yeah, no, that's not expensive. That's cheap.
1,000 for, no, it's 8 something if you're only buying 1,000.
I think these worked out to be 25 cents or 30 cents, the ones we had.
Yeah.
And those ones in there are actually sealable,
Oh. Well,
but they're 6 by 9. And the ones Stampin' Up used to have were 6 by 8.
I am making this card with you, Kim. I'm just really behind.
Okay. As you can see, I did this one a little bit different. My first card, I did the dark on this side. And this is much straighter cake. It's a happier cake. This
So
one I
can-
did dark on the opposite side. It's a little leaning.
Right.
It's feeling in July cake.
Can you just remind me though, it's just this, pardon me, did you put the white piece on the back of a colored cardstock?
Yes, the white is mounted onto a piece of the same size as a front card.
Okay.
So it'd be 4¼ by 5½.
Awesome, thanks. You can move on unless anyone else wants you.
We're good to move on to card 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Card 2 is actually on the next page. Well, maybe I'll do the middle one. Kind of wonky. It's kind of a gimpy little card here. And this is like, again, I think, like I said, we're all pretty good at knowing how to do shaker cards and stuff like that. This is where I said these three kind of, to me, are kind of the same. Where this was, because we're using that envelope. This is like what we know how to do really well. Are these three here? The celebrate one here, this one here, which is also congratulations, and then the little mailbox card. They're all very basically the same thing, just different stamp sets, different paper, but the procedure of doing it is exactly basically the same. So for this one, it's on vanilla cardstock, and this is what it looks like. You just shake it around and the little flowers inside the circle move. So that's how this one works. So what I used on this card is Versamark and our gold embossing powder. Is I embossed the word congratulations, which I'm not going to show you how to do because you all know how to do that, but just let you know what I was using. So that's what I did, and I just snipped edge off so it's to a point for the words. I used the
Jim, sorry. Which stamp set is that? Congratulations from. That's beautiful.
That one is actually current, and it's stippled rose.
Stippled roses. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
And so out of here, I use the word congratulations, and I also use this cluster of leaves as well.
Okay. Thank
But the rest I didn't. But those are the two things that I did use. So this is the stamps that I used, or is being used on this. I used the Stamp and Write marker in Pecan Pie. I'll show you that in a minute. Then your base, of course, is very vanilla, which is not something I use very often, but I think we should pull it out more because it's actually quite pretty. And I think it will look really great with our basic beige because they're so close in colors. But it's the same 8½ by 5½, nothing spectacular. But instead of being like a book, we're just using it like this direction. I left the inside blank as well. So that's the card base. Then you're going to have a piece, and I use the stylish shapes dies, which are also current, and I use the circles to get this. So you're going to cut one circle out of very vanilla. It's got the stitch, so it's a solid circle. You're going to do the same thing with that same size with your window sheet. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of there. You get a reflection off my light there. But same size as the vanilla. Then you're going to butt two of those circles together in Pecan Pie to make yourself your little frame. So it's nice because you have stitching on the outside and on the inside of the circle. So that's how those three pieces are going to work together. Then you're going to get your framelit pieces of that goes with the stippled roses, and they have this leaf set in here in their gold foil. So it's very shiny and pretty. And it has nice detail, like it has like little dots. It's sort of like you embossed it at the same time. It's really pretty. So cut out two of those. And then you're going to use that new Country Woods DSP that has that wood side. And then, well, this one is wood on both, but has that other paper too. Let me see if I can find it here. I really like it. It's got that. It's a birdhouse paper. You know, it has that light wood blue, has the navy, has the stripes.
That's not Country Woods. That's Country Woods.
Yeah, that's Country Woods. Yeah, so that's the paper I'm using. This particular sheet is what I'm using. And of course, window sheet. And this piece is 5½ long and about 3 inches wide, but width isn't particularly overly important, but because you're going to be tearing it with your fingers. So I'll start with the card base first. Move these out of the way. the other paper that it calls for is another DSP, and I can't remember the name of it right now. And they also use the punch, Pedal Park Builder Punch. I didn't have that punch, but I have the strawberry punch, and it has a little flower. So like I said, it was very similar to the size that they were doing. So like I said, use what you have. And so what I did is I punched out, I think it was 5 or 6 of these little flowers off of this retired DSP that we used to have many, many eons ago. Remember this one? And all I did was kind of cut around it because I wanted a bit of white, a bit of pink, because that pink was matching what they were going. And then that's where I took my pen. And if you see, I just did 3 little doodle dots to make the center of the flowers. And that's all I used the pen for, was just to draw those little dots and stuff. But don't forget, you can use your pens for a lot of other things. So put that over there. Move the punch. Get my stamps. And these are rubber stamps versus the polymer, just so that you know. And then I'm going to get pecan pie again. I'm bringing that back. I did this on this card full strength. I think it's fine, so I'm going to continue to do that. It was hard to tell in the book because it's, you don't always get the best image or picture. But they probably stamped off because it looks a little lighter, but I'm okay with that. So you want to kind of have a little bit showing at the top, like so. And then go back in, and then you're going to kind of come at the bottom a little smidge too. And that's all you're stamping for that, is those 2 leaves. So it kind of looks weird, but that's what it's going to look like. And that's all you're doing with your pecan pie. So leave that up to the side. And then we're going to take our wood grain paper, and we're just going to, and this is, it will show white when you rip it, which is part of the night, like that's what you want. And you're just going to, there's no rhyme or reason, you're just going to rip an edge. Same with the bottom, you're just going to rip a little smidge off, make it all Willy Wonkus. Show a bit of that white core. The rest of it. So it kind of looks like that, all nice and ripped. Then you're just going to take your adhesive and you're going to line that up to the edge. You're kind of in the middle. You can kind of play around with it, how you want your leaves to look to edge. So that's why it doesn't matter what it looks like when you stamp it, because you're covering up that kind of messy inside bit. So then your leaves just kind of poke out the top and the bottom. So then with your circle, this is where the liquid glue I find is better, is when you're putting your frame part over your window sheet, because it gives you that mobility of movement and doesn't drag right away. But like I said, a little goes a long way, so don't be too heavy-handed with your glue. I probably should have started with this first so that it would have time to dry. Where did I put that? And then it's always hard to find your circle. And then you just place that on top of your frame and just shimmy it around until it gets, because it's the same size, right? So it should fit perfectly. Give it a nice press. And there you got your little frame with window. I don't know if you can see the glare of the window there. So that's all put together. And then I'm taking my vanilla and I'm going to just put that flat. You want to have a bit of the leaf showing out the top and the bottom. And that's just flat on your card base there. And then I'm going to bring my little flower pieces. And I'm just going to kind of cluster them near the center so that I'm leaving myself a lot of space around the edge. Then I'm going to come and I had this leftover stuff that we had during Stampin' Up. There was Circle 3D, but we also have, where is it? This stuff too. Foam adhesive strips. They're really long. And they're thicker than a regular dimensional. So just keep that in mind, that it's a little thicker than what your regular dimensional is going to be and stuff like that. So, and I just follow along. You want to make sure that it fits on the edge. And you can bend these a little bit. They just pull right off really easy. You want to make sure that when you have these, your adhesives are tight to each other, because you don't want any of your, this stuff won't fly out, but smaller confetti or any of that, if you put glitter, like that glitter that gets everywhere, you don't want it popping out. Once you get everything kind of where you want it on your frame, you just take the backing off. Put that to the side. Then you want to come down on top of that circle and line it up as best as you can. And then give it a press. And there you have your little shaker with the flowers in it. And then basically the rest is decorating, right? You're going to come in. And then if you have any extra pieces, you can put it back on. With your leaves, with the glue dot. You're going to put your other branch of leaves. You can even cut them down to make it a little bit less. And glue dot that in. Then you're going to put double dimensional on this side, but not just a little bit of glue on this side, because remember, this is higher than this, and you're just going to pop that right in the middle like that, and that's the end of that card. And that's the finished product.
That's gorgeous. And when I looked at it in the catalog, I thought, I probably wouldn't make that, but wow, that is a wow card.
Yeah,
That's
it's not really that difficult to do, right? It's a couple of bit of stamping.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
I don't know why they would put a card right in the fold.
Yeah, I know, it was really hard to,
It's
I can't always figure it out, but
it really detracts from it when they do that.
Yeah.
That was kind of dumb.
You did a good job with it, Kim. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful. Jim, which paper did you use for the flowers, for the petal?
oh, that paper is so old. But I kept
Oh,
it. Love that paper. It used to be, it was called Watercolor Wonder Designer Series paper. I don't think it has a year on it. It came with this stuff that had all like the little blue and gray and yellow and polka dots.
Oh my God, that is old.
Yeah,
That
that's not
is.
at all.
Do you
I
have a
really
number?
liked that color, and it had
Is there a number on the back?
I have that paper too.
132994.
Oh, okay. Well, because at least I can tell by going through my catalogs, the 132. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Not that old then, because we're into 166 now. So, okay, probably 3 years.
So that's what I use.
That's
I
beautiful.
because I wanted something soft, because it's very
Yeah.
soft. And if
And
you
it
look at
is.
the catalog, it is so pale and so hard to make out, like to look at it, that I wanted something soft. And actually, when I first looked at this card, I thought that was vellum. And I think this would be really pretty with a very soft vellum, but we don't sell vellum anymore. So then I'm like, it can't be vellum. It has to be a window sheet. But it was just so light and soft. So I figured, well, it kind of goes with those colors. Gives it a little bit of a pop. And
Yeah. Beautiful.
like I said, the punch that they used there was the Petal Part Builder punch, where I used the strawberry. But you could use any dies. Anything that you happen to have that has a small little flower would totally work.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
So that's card number 2. And then card number 3 is this one here, to celebrate. But I ended up changing up, saying sending, and then I could say whatever I want later. But it's the same idea. And this is that one where you have the option of having the punch or the 3 dies. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the only way this card can work this way is if you have the dies. You will not get this to work with a punch, because you can't put a punch in the middle and then to the 2 ends. You're not going to be able to fit it in. So the only way they could have made this is with 3 dies, just so that you know. But that's not the die I used. And so the paper that they used is the 6x6 Bright and Beautiful, which apparently I guess is still current, because that's what they have in the book. So yay, I have something current to show you. And it's the pink polka dot paper side, and then you have that very, like, it goes from dark to lighter, and that's what you want. So that's a DSP that we're using. And then Whisper Basic White is the card base and your front. And that again, just regular size, nothing fancy there. I used, no, this is retired, but you could use that new wood one that we got with the Christmas set that we just had with the birds. That would work really nice too. The snowflakes would work really nice. Like anything very soft, delicate, I think would work. Only reason I say soft and delicate, because once you cut out your little windows, these are really fragile pieces in the middle. So you don't want something that's going to be like a really hard crunch of a embossing folder. So that's what I mean, like something lighter, delicate, like not a heavy duty one, I guess. But I use this one that kind of looks like rippled paper. I'm not sure what it was called. Trisha might know, but it's retired. But like I said, I used it. And that's what I did to the front. Once I cut out my windows, then I put it through the embossing folder. You always cut first, emboss second, if you're going to do anything like this.
Maybe it was called wood. There is one, or not wood, bark.
Okay, that would work too. And then I cut the same, the 6x6 I cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because it fits exactly the front that you need in that BSB paper. And then you went and got 3 flowers. No, I'm not sure. It might say in here which punch I used. It was probably the same punch as this, or maybe not. I can't remember. But I used something different because I don't have that. And I just cut it out of lemon lolly. 3 little flowers. And of course it's retired. And the flower set I used is this one here, that really fun one that I never got to use when it was current. The Pierce Blooms dies is where I got the flowers from. And then I use Sending, and it's that one where you can do the background in a white or any color, and then you do your script in a different color. This is a really great set to use with the adhesive sheets, so you make them like stickers. It's way less messy, but I use glue. And that comes from Sending Dies is what I use for that word. And then I also used Warm Welcome, which is current. It is in the exclusives though. That's where you're going to find it. Is the Warm Welcome dies, which also comes with that matching stamp set with the little door and little kitty cat. And that's what I used for my little cutout, was the inside of the door frame. Because I was trying to find something that kind of was similar in that style, and this is the best I could come up with that would fit on that card front size. Because I could have done bigger, but then you wouldn't have been able to have the division parts. It would have been too tight. But this works well, so that's what I used that for. And then the sequins that I used, I pulled out all the pink, because the reason I went with the pink is because I had some of this in color, pretty in pink ribbon, and that's a pretty in pink paper is what I used. And so I'm like, that's why I went pink instead of the Petunia Pop, because I didn't have that ribbon, so I just changed it up to the color ribbon that I did have. But that's the ribbon that they're using, but I'm using the pink where they're using the Petunia Pop. And the sequins I'm using is the Metallic Sequins Assortment, which we got a long time ago. It has the blues and the pinks in it. It's very, like, I don't know, tarnished look, like a tarnished pink and a tarnished blue. But that's what I use for the inside of the cards. And I put on the center of the flowers, each one, a thing. And then, of course, you have your window sheet cut just a little bit smaller so that you could put right there, like so. So again, it's same as every other card. You just fold in half. If I'm going too fast, let me know. Fold it in half. And then I'm going to take our ESP color. And again, I like to just kind of pop it in front of the card base and slowly smoosh it together, because then you can keep it pretty much close to all the sides without being over too much. So now my base is going from dark to light in that pink color. So that's all we're doing with that part. Then we're going to take our emboss piece, and this one, like I said, because it is that emboss, I will use either tear tape or liquid glue to keep that window sheet in place a little bit better. And you just want to put your window sheet down. This is a little bit too long, but I don't want it exactly the same size as the front. That's good enough. Like I said, if I was doing a bunch of these, I would probably do this part, like get all my stuff pre-cut, pre-embossed. Then I would come with my glue, and then I would do my window sheets so that they have time to dry, just in case, you know, you don't want any glue oozing out on anything. Just carefully put your sheet on. Like I said, this is where, because it is liquid glue, you have a chance to wiggle around that sheet a little bit. And this also gives you like an opportunity, like, okay, I got some glue oozing out on the front, and then I can wipe it off, right? You don't want that sticking to your envelope or anything like that. And then I would just let that dry for a little bit. But now you see how you got that window in there. And then this one, this is a little bit different than this circle one, is that what you're doing, you're making each one its own compartment, if that makes sense. Instead of doing like what you could do, there's two ways you could do this one, but the way they did it in the book, I'll show you. And this is just some leftover paper pumpkin. It's the same stuff as what we had before, but it just seems to be a better size. I just do the two longs. And I come in for the edges.
These
And I
strips are actually on back order right now. You can't order them,
and
but
then
they're
just-
still online. So as long as you see them online, they're going to come back.
And then I'm going to take my little piece because I never waste anything. Instead of getting another big long piece, I'm going to bring this little piece that I had before in. Now that's one way you could do it, where you're just doing an outside box, but that means all the little sequins will be free to flow all through the back. In this particular card, that's not what they did. They actually put dividers, or like they separated each window. That's what makes it nice, because these fit so perfectly in that space that you're not going to see it from the front. That perfect fit. So then they did like this, where you have like, this is a separate window, like nothing's going to go flowing from here to here. It's all its own little compartment. So then what you do, you bring in your card base, you get your sequins. I guess I should have separated them, because they're kind of mixed up in color, and you don't want to sit here for 5 hours watching me do this. So 3 for my flowers, and then you just kind of put a whole bunch in little piles. Yeah, it's off my finger. This one I don't care. I'll put some blue in it too. Who cares? You try to keep the piles kind of equal. Like you don't want this one totally full and this one hardly have any. Kind of want to, as best as you can, gauge that maybe they're equal in their amount. Then I just kind of make them in little rows. And if you find that maybe that doesn't look right, then add a few more. You see how I kind of keep on like a little trio row? Is then when I go over top, I'm going to have it like that. So then they're not going to be sticking to the back of my glue or anything. And then you just take off all the adhesive backing, which is nice. What I find about this, I find these are easier to get off the backing. No, that I said I probably jinxed myself, than dimensionals are. Like it just comes off really easy. You're not, having to take your poker tool or scissors or, try and find where that edge is. It just seems to work really well. So there I've taken all the sticky off. And then what you're going to do, you're going to make sure, two things. You're going to line up so that your card is going to fit the front of your card, but you also want to make sure that each little window has its own compartment. So now when I shake them, they just bounce around in the compartments. They're not mixing up with each other. Where if I would have left those 2 strips out, it would have been like all over. You know what I mean? and stuff like that. And I'll put the lid on because I know I'm going to make a big mess. And then the ribbon, I just folded it. I'm going to get my ribbon scissors. You just fold it in half. And I find this ribbon's very fray too. So that you make like a little tail. And then you just look at how long your word is. Like I said, celebrate's a little bit different. So then, okay. There. Fold that end over. I cut from the corners. And you get just like a little fan of a tail. And I don't want to use liquid glue on this ribbon because it will seep through. And I don't want that look. It's kind of gross. So I'll just take a bit of tear tape. And I'll take my word because I kind of want it in the middle. Then I'll put my tear tape down. Because it's going to be easier to take the tear tape backing off of something that's solid versus my ribbon. And then I'm going to line up my ribbon. I press my ribbon into the tape. So. Now if I find it too long, I can cut it down. And then you're putting your word on dimensionals. And I found these little ones work perfect. They fit right inside the bubbles of the G and the D and the S. And then you can cut them in half and they will fit in the D and stuff. So I just kind of take those ends and put it there. And kind of like that. And then I just cut a little piece off for the S. Like so. Then I'm going to take all the backing off of those. So center that on top of the ribbon. Press down. These backings off. Then I'm going to use my glue dots again. You could use liquid glue dots, whatever you're happy with using. And I just put them in the center of the flowers. And then I'm going to put one of the pink sequins on top. You could use rhinestones. You could probably use the new In Color gems. Those would be pretty too. Never even thought of that. But I'm just kind of keeping so it all flow together. So that's all you do with those. Then I just went with my fingers and I kind of just bent and flicked the flowers a bit. So they'll give them a little bit more dimensional. And then I'm taking my dimensionals again, the small ones. But don't forget you cut these up on the edge. Pop them in the middle. Put this one just behind the word. Put this one in the middle. I'm going to pop that just kind of over here. One more. A little bit over at the top. And voila, you got your shaker card. Which is
So
basically
pretty, Kim.
same as Celebrate, but sending and using is still current, but a different framework.
Love the colors.
Punch would not work
Yeah.
in that instance.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yes, I probably might trim that down a little bit later, but and it looks nice with the blue in it too. This is all pink because I actually took out all the blue, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's this one. So that's how you kind of do that one. Leftover bits and pieces and bobs.
I love your tip about putting the adhesive strip down and then your ribbon on top. Smart thinking. There's too many times you put it on the ribbon, you're trying to pull it off and it's like, no, it ain't coming off.
You spend a half an hour trying to get the backing off and it's not working.
Yeah. Yeah. You always give such good little tips.
It's from trial and error.
Wow. I appreciate it.
So then the last card is this cute little postcard. I don't know, like mailbox card. Sending Love Dies is what they're using here. I think it's probably the same name for the stamp set, I think. But again, they're using the same paper that we just used. This is 6x6, bright and beautiful. But this time they used the really pretty blue that has like the party fading from purple to blue on the background. I really like that color. So it's nice to be able to use the same 6x6 paper. Again, this thing made a little bit smaller card size, but I figured, you know, what's the point? If I'm going to make a card, I'm going to make the whole front, because then I just have leftover little bits of white paper. This way I'm using a whole sheet. So I made this actually bigger than what it actually is supposed to be, but it still looks the same and works out to be the same thing. So again, it's just white 8.5 by 5.5 folded in half card base. The ink I'm using is Petunia Pop, and the words I'm using, the stamp set I'm using, is the one that matches the die that I used in the other card that opens up that inside door. Is Warm Welcome. This is still current, and it's on the inclusives. You'll see it online. This one, and that's where I got the word welcome from. So that's where I got welcome, but that wasn't good enough. I needed to have something more because it said friend on here. So then I went to Penguin Place and they have the word friend, and that's what I used. And if you didn't have this stamp set, I figured you could probably maybe use this one in some way. I haven't tried it to see how that would look, but I would say that's another substitute if you're trying to do that mailbox theme type card. You could use the Stamp with Love, which is current as well. That was just an option. I didn't use it, but you could. And then, of course, window sheet. And the other thing I used is this is current, and I use this bigger size die here, something fancy dies, because I didn't have this die where it's like that rounded rectangle, but this is kind of like pretty similar. Gives you the same idea. Why not work with what you got? And then they have
sorry, what was that die?
Something fancy dies.
Oh, that goes with the. Oh no. Okay, thank you.
It has like different shapes and stuff like that. It's actually a really good set. I've used this quite a lot actually. But I didn't have the ones they had pertaining to this particular card. And then the other one I picked because it has all these little hearts. They have like a bigger size heart and all these little tiny hearts. Again, I didn't have these dies, but I had the teacups die set, and look what they had. Big hearts and little tiny hearts. So
Cheryl,
like I
did
said,
you not just post those for sale not too long ago? Now you're gonna be wishing you had them.
so like, I mean, look at your stuff, because heart's a heart, right? Why
No,
not
it
just
wasn't. Sorry, Kim. No, it wasn't me, Trisha. Somebody else posted it.
oh well, they'll want them back. So that's what I use for that. Just to get, and I just have my little dish, which is just the dish I discussed with you when I said when I ordered it from Paris, and I thought it was going to be huge. Look how little it is, but it works and stuff. So I got the hearts in the lemon lolly and one heart in Petunia Pop in the bigger size. So I got a bunch of those. So what you do, and then of course, I borrowed the stamp set. I don't own it. So I know you guys know how to color. You don't want to watch me color. So I pre-did it, and I pre-fussy cut it. So I saved you guys some time. It's the mailbox and the weeny teeny little bird. The bird I did in Lemon Lolly Light, and I also did in Peach Pie Dark. So that's where you get that two-tone with the orange in there. That's what colors I used on that. I was supposed to use Pecan Pie, but for some reason I can't find my blend. So I used a retired soft suede, but it's so pretty. It doesn't matter. You can use any of our brown tones for the wood part. I used that for the brown. I used Petunia Pop for the little flag. I used, what is it called? Summer Splash for the grass and light and dark. And then I used the white color lifter. And I also used Smoky Slate for the top of the cap of the post and the mailbox. And then I just kind of washed it out a bit with the color lifter. So it kind of looked a little rusticy or not perfect. So, and then I fussy cut it out.
Hey, Kim, let's talk about this. How long did it take you to color that mailbox? That looks absolutely fabulous. I need a close-up picture of it. That must have taken you a long time. How long did it take you to color that?
You don't want to know. It was like minutes.
Seriously?
Seriously.
So gorgeous.
Because when I color sometimes, especially if I know I'm going to fussy cut it out. I'm not so particular about staying in the line, so to speak. You know, so like here, I don't care if I'm going to go over the edge. I'll be more careful here. I'll be maybe a little bit more careful, like obviously on the inside, but anything that's kind of got an edge, I don't care. I'm just kind of scribbling off the edge because I know I'm going to be trimming it up pretty tight. So that's part of the trick.
And make sure you check the comments because everyone's leaving you comments, how creative you are and how awesome everything is. So good job. Keep it going.
So this is, I cut the 6x6 down to, of course, this front size, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5. Then I ran it through the Big Shot and I did my die. So then I have my little window. So then what we did, this was a little bit different than the rest. But you could do this. I think people have done, I think you've done it too, Trisha, where you've done like the little, I call it the peekaboo window, where you stamp through the peekaboo window, but you're not really having a window. It's like open card concept. Like you could use a punch, you could use dies, because that's what, because right, there is a window here, but before you put your window on, you're putting this on, and then you're stamping. So you have your words there, so then you know the placement. But you could also do that, and then you know your card opens, and then you have the words there. I don't know what that's called. Is that like open window stamping, or what is that called?
Sure, we'll call it open window stamping. That's the new term. Way to coin it.
I don't know. So then we're taking our 2 words, welcome, and then the one from the other winter set that's retired. And we're going to start with welcome. We're using Petunia Pop. And then you're just going to center that onto your card. And there's your welcome. And now this one has, it says to be coolest friends ever, but I don't want friends ever. I just want friends. So I'm just going on the edge, getting my friend. You could do masking. You could do where you take a post-it note and cover up the word. It would be cleaner on your fingers, or a baby wipe, or any of those type of things. But I just use my finger and I wipe it off. So then I have just the word friend. I want to make sure that ESP is placed back where I want it. And I'm just putting friend right underneath welcome. And then you have welcome friend. And that's all the stamping you're doing on this one. Besides, of course, your pre-colored stamping, which is also Manto Black because you're using blends. But this is, of course, in color. And that's all you're doing for that. So I can move those stamps out of the way. I don't want to lose my little bird. Maybe I'll actually stick them down. The bird is just glue on glue or a glue dot. And he's just kind of perched right in that door of the mailbox. So it looks like he's flying out of the mailbox. Isn't he cute? Isn't it fun? So there I won't lose them. And I'll put them up here with my other stuff. Now I want to take my window sheet. And again, you're going to make it just enough to cover whatever size opening you choose to use. You don't need a super big one. And again, I'm doing the same thing where I'm taking my adhesive and I'm going around. I don't want to go too close to the edge because you don't want the glue poking out onto the outside in case you made too much. But it also gives you that wiggle room time too if you need to place it differently. And then give it a nice press. Like so. And there, now you have your window sheet. And don't forget, you can also stamp on the window sheet too, but you would have to use Stays-On inks because the other ink will just wipe off. It wouldn't stay. But that's another way you could do it too. And then what this whole sheet is then put on dimensionals. I'm going to find my bigger ones. And this one, I'm going to put a little bit along this side to balance it off a little bit. And this one will fit just one. So I'm using a little bit more than I probably normally would. I might even put one here just to balance that bottom. And yes, I'm using whole ones, which is an oddity for me. I like cutting mine in half. But I just want that to have a little bit more, because it's my friend on my card, I want it a little bit more firm, not bending in an area or anything like that. I want it to be like all one level so that it's like nice and firm. Then I'm gonna bring back, gotta find my purple heart. I don't want that in there. Okay. Then you take your little purple heart. I'm just using liquid glue. A little smush. You can definitely use a glue dot too if you want. And just place that right on top, because it matches the little flag of the mailbox. That's all you're doing for decorating the mailbox, basically. You could definitely add a Wink of Stella. That'd be really pretty with a sparkly mailbox. And then you're going to take all your backing off. So I like to get this ready to go before I put the hearts down. So then I just took a mixture of big and tiny hearts. And stuff like that. And again, I'm going to cluster them kind of over the words.
Don't you need to put more adhesive around it so that they don't go flying all over the place?
Yes, thank you. Got that. Yes, you bring in these pieces, and then you're going to go around your image.
So if you never thought these foam strips were a necessity, they are for shaker cards.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, you can only do so many with that cello bag. Those cello bags are must because they're easy to do, but these are fantastic. And like you're showing, Kim, I don't think I've ever lined it right up to the cut, but it makes sense because it's less room for it to go elsewhere.
Yep.
So I like that you're following the trim. So that's a good tip too.
And you get a lot, like a lot. Like I've had this for years. No, granted, if you're going to go on a big binge and make a ton of shaker cards, you'll go through this a lot more. But you don't need a lot to make a shaker card. Anything can be made into a shaker card. I want to make that sure it's tight there. And because I forgot and I had my dimensionals already down, I'm using them as part of my barrier system. You want to call it that. So as you can see, normally I would have not done it this way. But thanks to Diane for reminding me, I'm using them as like a level, like as the same thing as what they were anyways. It's just a different shape. It's still gonna block them. So now go back to where I was before. Take off the backing. Like I said, these are way easier than the dimensional backs. Get it stuck on right. There we go. So now that's, and I've already pre-done all the other ones, and these are actually the same height, so this works out a little bit better. Cluster all your little shaker bits, depending whatever it is that you're using. I always try to put it on the words because you know that's what's going to be centered inside your cutout piece. And then you're just going to carefully, slowly line it up to the card front. And then press. And sometimes it helps if you just press upside down. And there you got your little shaker hearts. And then they kept this very simple. They didn't put too much embellishments or anything on. So I'm just going slightly over that one edge and over the top. So I'm kind of on the window as well as on the card front DSP paper. That's why I knew I was going to do this. That's why I cut out that little bit, because that could have been white paper. I guess it wouldn't matter, but then you wouldn't have seen the hearts go through it. But I like all the little bits showing. So there you go. The heart shaker card, which is just basically focusing on that one section.
Super cute.
And that's it.
Love, love, love those techniques. Thanks for sharing, Kim. Be
Yep.
sure to go check out all the love that was shared for you in the comments. And if you guys aren't following Kim on Instagram or Facebook, go and give her a follow. She's Love of Cards. And as you can tell, she loves making them. So thanks for walking us through all those techniques. Hopefully we all give it a try.
There you go. And all the same, but a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous. But you know what? It's time for another giveaway, you guys. Again, you have to just trust me because for whatever reason, I can't share the wheel, but we've taken Chantel off. And we have Diane. Now, do you remember, Diane, the prizes that I shared?
No, we had company, so I didn't see.
We've got the DSP Iconic Celebrations, the 6x6, which is all holidays. It's fun new pattern paper that's out. And then we have the dotted, oh, you can't see because I've got myself on blur. Just wait.
Blur.
We'll unblur. We'll remove the spotlight. We've got that 3D embossing folder, the dotted circles, which is the extra large embossing folder. And we have the Iconic Celebrations 6x6 designer series paper. Which one would you like? The embossing
was two-
folder or the DSP?
The embossing folder, because I just got the DSP.
Hey, perfect. Your name is on there. I will add it to your Target bag. And
Ooh,
we'll do the last prize too. We may as well, just so that we give them all away this time. And we have Deborah. So congratulations, Deborah. You're getting yourself that Iconic Celebrations design series paper. Got to figure out how to share it on my screen though, because it's not fun when you can't see the wheel. Okay, so that is all for this month. Next month's meeting. I don't have next month's meeting up here. Just a sec, I will find it. But the date for the summer soiree is August 4th. And it's going to be at 6 o'clock. And I believe my husband's off that day and he said he'd barbecue for us. It'll be a burger night, but another gathering. Some of you guys were here last summer and the summer before. Just bring your lawn chairs. Let's hang out. Let's have fun and celebrate everybody.
10% left.
And I'm just going to pull up the date for the next meeting because I left my book downstairs. I had to come up here because for whatever reason, not only was I having issues with my computer, Tom got me this new plug-in that plugs in, but everything plugs into it. Yeah, wasn't charging. My laptop was about to die. I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to come outside. Left everything behind, but that's okay. I sent the dates to Kim. I'm just going to pull up her text so I can give you next month's meeting. And it is August 11th. And Kim's going to be sharing us the technique of masterful masking. And I don't know, what should we do as a theme? Obviously, the new mini catalog is going to be out, but I know that's not really enough time for all of us to get some pieces in our hands yet. So maybe we'll save the new catalog kind of features to the month after. Is there any suggestions for what type of cards we should do?
So you're having your team stamp and the barbecue kind of all together?
No,
For
no, the
August?
barbecue's the week before.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Daydreaming.
Yeah, August 4th is the soiree. It's August long weekend.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so the weekend after. Okay. Because I can't come August.
that's okay. Okay, Kim, when you and I meet like here in the next week or two, we'll figure it out. Maybe you've got some suggestions or cards that you want to make.
I'm good with whatever.
Okay. Well,
I guess it depends on what I have.
yeah, we will figure it out because who knows, maybe we will. If I can pre-order and get it here right away, who knows? Maybe we will do some new in color stuff. I guess next month's meeting will be a surprise other than you'll know the masterful masking because that'll be fun.
Mhm.
Use some of those masking sheets or washi tape. Otherwise, I think that's everything for this month. If you have questions though, feel free to post them in the group. Let Kim know if you want a kit for next month.
Speaking of which, Kim, I think
Okay.
it's time for me to pay for the next 6 months. Is that right?
Let me look at my sheet here.
Tricia, can I ask you a
Julie,
question while she's
Deborah,
looking at that?
Tricia,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
Cheryl
can't
and
share my
Suzanne
screen
good.
on this.
Chantel is good till September.
Oh, do
I'm
I?
sorry,
What
I'm
did you say? Sorry.
Oh,
Tricia, Sherry, and Deborah, if they're choosing to have it again, need to pay from August to December.
Okay.
Okay. I'll
Thank
send you
you.
money. Thank you.
Stuff, and then Karen, she just pays whatever she wants. If she wants it this month, then she, that type of thing. Well, everybody can do that too, right?
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, sorry, Chantel, what's your question?
okay,
Oh.
can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your. How did you share your screen?
How did you do that?
I have a new laptop.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it's not that new, but I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the problem. So anyways, it says here placing orders. It's got workshop, customer, modify existing, and order history. There's no demonstrator order. And
No.
I'm logged in with my demonstrator login.
Yeah, and because it's blue, you know you are on the demonstrator.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. It says right
I
here.
wonder, just wait, I wonder if this is switched over now. So remember, they're switching over to a new platform. So every customer earns their own credit. So remember, like gone are the days of the normal host credit, but I didn't think it happened right away. So just a sec, I'm going to log on myself. I knew it was coming. Customer center. Yeah, see customer center right there? That's the new customer. You've got customer carts and your customer. So this is demonstrator, but I think you must be going in.
So maybe it's automatic. If I'm placing an order, it's automatically a demonstrator order unless I choose
Yes.
something else.
Okay, that makes
You know-
sense. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Chantel, that happened to me too. I wanted to start a new order and I'm like, what the heck? It's not giving me demonstrator order. If
Yeah.
you look, you've got 5 in your cart already. And so when I clicked on my cart, mine was empty, it was 0.
Yeah.
It came up with me as the demonstrator. So you don't have to choose demonstrator anymore. You can
Yeah,
just go
okay.
Right,
automatically
because you can't
to the
pre-save an
carts.
order. That's the other
Yeah.
thing, right?
What?
Yeah.
You can't pre-save orders. Just
No.
load your cart and just save whatever's in your own cart.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Whereas
Yeah.
before, remember, we could like save multiple orders. That's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Well, I never did that, so.
Yeah. But
Well, I
anyways,
just-
go back
yeah.
to the menu. So how I was showing you that customer center,
Yeah, that's new.
it is new because before it came up and it said I couldn't do that. So click on customer carts.
Oh.
It's a new
oh.
feature. Okay, good. It does still say it's a new feature coming soon. So what it is like if you like ideally we're not supposed to be putting customer orders underneath our demonstrator order, but for them to get credit, they're going to want to like load their own cart, and so that must be what you're going to be able to see, because for every dollar they spend, it's going to count as credit towards, and once they have so much, then they're going to get, I think it's like a 10% cash back sort of thing on their purchases. So we'll see. They're
So
just piloting
What
it right
about,
now.
would that be the hostess code is gone?
Yeah,
then?
the hostess code is going to be leaving. Yeah.
Oh.
And so they're in the middle of the transition. We're still getting the old hostess benefits. So I don't know if you noticed, but in the new catalog, you can't actually see what the host benefits are. They didn't publish it because
Yeah.
we're in the middle of transition. So right now we're still getting the old benefit there, but there's going to come a time when this goes live, which is likely in the next couple of months, if not sooner, that old host program is gone. And now we each earn based on our sales.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Is
And
there,
It's
can all
been
this
better,
information
hey?
be found somewhere for me to read? Is it under business resources or something?
there might
Or
be. I know they
just
weren't
under a
publishing it. No, they've just talked about it at all the events online. I don't think they've
Oh.
published anything yet until they know 100% certain what they're doing because of the new group coming in. I think that because they had to kind of align like whatever they were used to what they were doing with us. I'll see what I can find for you, Sherry, though, and I'll forward it to you because I might have something in the
Okay.
leader groups. But the idea
Okay.
is like demonstrators are a little upset, especially those who rely on the host code, like the benefits for their materials, right? They host a class and
Mhm.
usually they get all of their cardstock and their adhesives for free using the host
Yeah.
credit. but that's not going to be a thing anymore. And so, although it's not so good for demonstrators, it's good for the customer because now for every
Yeah.
dollar, it's not like they have to spend $250 to get a credit. Every dollar they spend gets credited. So in the long run, ideally, they'll get more benefit out of it. But I'll see what I can find. I just know it's coming, but that's why it's not published in the catalog anywhere.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Demonstrators will still get that percentage though, Tricia?
No, it'll be the same. It'll be whatever percentage. I think it's 10% is what they're.
But But demonstrators will get that as well.
Yeah, it's the same. Like the demonstrator will be the same as a customer.
Okay.
The only difference is that you get your rebate because I don't think they're changing the compensation plan at all. So you'll still get your rebate and your team sales kind of commissions.
Right.
It's just the hostess benefits.
Mhm.
Yeah. But we'll wait and see. I'm surprised that you hadn't heard that anywhere.
I think I did, but I kind of just put it at the back of my mind because I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah. But that's what that customer card is. So now as you kind of see, you can kind of go browse that side of the fence. It's still saying it's not live yet, but that's what it is because what they're also doing is they're putting the onus on the customer to ensure that their address, like their mailing information is all correct and that they're allowing for email sharing and their own credit card management. So no longer can you take credit card from them. A customer has to go into their profile and update it themselves. Which is good because it's more of a privacy, like they're trying to like put the security onus on the customer as opposed to the demonstrator so that it's less,
Yeah,
less of a liability.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is that everything? I kind of thought there was one more thing that popped in my head. But probably not. But ask questions if you hear things come up.
They haven't had a date when that's supposed to be going through yet then.
No, they have not announced a date. There's so much other changes. And so I think they really have to manage what change they're going to announce first, right? Just with
Yeah.
the demonstrators coming and the launch of the new catalog, the new online exclusives, like at least we're getting product online and their online sales are crazy. Like they've been doing so well. However, they did share their targets. They haven't actually quite been meeting all their targets, not for recruiting anyways. They were down a little bit, not much though, just a little bit. And their sales, they were okay. They were actually above a little bit by like 300,000 for Canada than what they thought they would be at the beginning of June. So that's kind of neat. They've been sharing more with us, kind of like where they sit as a company. Seem to be doing well.
So do they, are those, what do you call the,
I wonder how much of that is because of,
the people that came from that other company and they have all this product on there, will there be time where we can actually get that stuff or is that not really gonna happen?
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that that's just the commitment that they made for that product that they had to buy. But slowly they'll transition them into the Stampin' Up! Line. I'm anticipating that whatever this memory keeping line is that's coming out in September, it's going to be very similar to what they had. And their products, like their lines were amazing. And Cheryl, maybe you could even speak to it. It was kind of like our Memories and More line, but you had paper and you had the cards that would all match and stickers. And it was all fun themed. And then there was usually a stamp set that was themed to it as well.
Okay.
So hopefully we see some kind of different packages or different things. I don't
Did they
know.
say
I'm
Company makers actually joined Stamping Up or was that not part of their?
No, it was. So I don't know how many new ones came over, but they transitioned everyone, like all the leaders they transitioned over, and then demonstrators could follow their leaders. I think they had a choice to up to a certain date. That date's now passed. So I think everyone who they have is who they have. I'll find out more. I'm actually going next weekend to Scrapbook actually with one of the ladies who came over from there. So I'm anxious to kind of find out more about her stuff. Her last name is Smith. For the like of me, I can't think of what her first name is, but she's local. And I really liked her design of the Stampin' Up! Scrapbooks because there is a scrapbook Facebook group called Global Scrapbookers, I think it's called. Global SU Scrapbookers. Anyways, it just stood out for me because it's my style of stamping. So I thought, ooh, I'm gonna go check her out. And we'll see, like we'll get the inside scoop, I guess, from a Close to My Heart rep. Although I totally forgot Cheryl was, although she's not supposed to tell us that because you're not supposed to be with competing companies.
I
as per
wasn't a
law.
rep with them. I was just,
Or
I
customer.
was a customer years ago.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Oh yeah, well, I bought some stuff for them at one point too.
I
Yeah.
think Diane was a rep for them, wasn't she?
No, it
Somebody-
was someone else at our retreat, I think.
Yeah, somebody came to our retreat was a rep. I thought it was Diane.
No.
Which
Diane, you
Diane?
still on?
She's trying to avoid the question.
She left.
Ah,
But
no,
I logged in with my old email
Darn.
address and they allowed me to log in and I put something in the basket and it went in there. So if anybody wants anything, let me know. When is that available?
but just wait, Cheryl. It let me put everything in the basket, but it wouldn't let me check out at the end. I had to go in and remove it.
Oh.
Yeah. So just in case you're wondering why your order isn't submitting when you're hitting, okay, finalize order.
Well, I didn't because I really didn't know what I wanted. So I was just checking to see if I could order and then went from there. But
So anyways, just
I
test
was
it,
using
let
a
us
different
know.
email address.
But that is something else too that Genevieve told us is that apparently there's a review of the Stampin' Up policies. So apparently there's some question for cash and carry that these new Close to My Heart demonstrators have. And so I don't know what the unclarity is because in our policies it shows that you can cash and carry pumpkin and kits and adhesives. Like it's pretty clear on what you can, but apparently it's still up in the air. There's still uproar. So Stampin' Up is revising that policy, but they're not launching it because apparently they're revising all of the policies. So I'm
Oh.
anxious to see if maybe they're gonna like take out some of the competitor pieces that they had in there to let people stamp with creativity with other things. Because I think they're missing out on expanding markets by not allowing it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
cross
got
your
kicked
fingers.
out. I'm back.
Did you used to be a demonstrator for Close to My Heart?
No, I wasn't. I did go do scrapbooking with some Close to My Heart girls in Millet. And so, yeah, I used I still have their kits and stuff, but yeah, they'd have a level 1 and a level 2. So the level 1 would be like pre-done pages where you just pop in your pictures and your stickers, and level 2 as you had to, think about
Oh,
things.
I thought it was you that was, but there was
I used
somebody.
to sell it.
You signed up briefly.
Not me.
Yes.
It
'Cause we
wasn't
bought
Close to My
stuff.
Heart. It was the other one. It
No, because I didn't do the other one. I didn't like the other one. But
was
I've done
Creative
Close to My
Memory.
Heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was Creative Memories that I signed up for.
I got a few punches.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
there.
you know who it was, Cheryl? Joanne.
No, it was
I
no.
do like their scissors. Their scissors
Oh.
have like an adhesive scissors, so it does Teflon, so it doesn't stick.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was an older lady. I remember because I
You're
remember.
calling me old.
I didn't mean older. I didn't mean that way, but Joanne is
Elderly.
young. Like
Oh, Val.
passed
Remember
my
Val?
age,
Val
right?
sold it too, I think. She used to come to our retreats.
who?
Val. She was
Maybe
Loretta's
that's who it
friend.
was.
She worked at the hospital.
And
Or it was
how's
somebody's
that,
mom or something. I can't remember.
how's that coming along, Trisha?
The retreat?
Yeah.
Well, we have one booked in March for sure out at the barn out in Bakerville. So I'm pretty excited that that is launched, but I'm trying to get one for the end of
You
October.
have, sorry, something posted about that?
Yeah, well, I just posted a save the date in the Heart Stampers.
Oh, okay.
But I am still working on one for out in Wetaskiwin, but the guy never called me back and I never got his email. So I'm still trying to confirm because he was all excited because apparently, so how I got this is a Close to My Heart demonstrator gave up her spot. So she was always like out there having retreats 4 times a year, but she didn't want to do it anymore because it sounds like she's not coming over with Stampin' Up. And so this guy is used to doing retreats for her. And so he just does a price for food for the days and then leaves it up to the attendees to pay for their hotel room. It's at a Best Western in Wetaskiwin, so they're not that expensive a night. But I'm just waiting for kind of the pricing package on what she did because they did it. It was a success. Everyone loved it. So I thought, okay, well, let's just try and mimic hers. and see how it all comes out. So I'm trying to get that for, I think it's the last weekend of September, first weekend of October. No, it must be the last weekend of September. Anyway, I'll let
Yeah.
you know if that ever comes through.
That's what you were speaking of, because I remember when you mentioned the date, I went, that's the day, that's the weekend we always pack up at the lake.
That's right. That's right.
Then they close. Yeah.
So we'll see. I also got quotes from River Cree, which is a possibility, but once you add the hotel nights, I'm like, it was too expensive. It just didn't work. So anyways, at least for sure we're going in March and I can book early enough now with her that I can book another one for October for next year. But even that, to get the March, we had a nice chat that she just felt bad for me that I didn't have a retreat. So she found someone and confirmed with someone and they gave it up. They're like, no, I'm not going. So she squeezed us in, but she said otherwise she's booked for like a year already.
Oh, wow.
But there's no food. So she supplies a kitchen, but you have to bring your own food.
Oh,
But yeah, so it's one of those things kind of mapping it out. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, can I do the food and what does that look like? So I'm still trying to play around with that.
Great.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll keep working on it all. So all of a sudden with Hasquin sounds great. I just need to get on this guy. I got to bug him again tomorrow. Okay. And then the other thing I thought I'd look into when I go out. So Riley's girlfriend, they opened up their ice cream shop. I'm all excited about this. I have to go out. Yeah, it opened last week. It's not open evenings though. So unfortunately it closes at 6 every day. So I can't get there. So I have to make arrangements for her to stay open late one night. And it's an hour and a half drive from here, right? But I will do a call out to see who wants to all go for a car ride one evening. It's just going to be a long car ride. But then I thought, why not look at a hotel out there? Like maybe there's some hotel and then we could do cart classes in the ice cream shop. Anyways.
where is it?
It's in Whitecourt.
Where's their ice cream shop? Whitecourt?
It's it's right in town. So they bought a house in downtown Whitecourt and they gutted it and turned it into an ice cream cafe. Yeah, it's so cute. Her
Wow.
mom, her and her sister. I guess Riley told me he screwed in the roofs. But everyone the whole family has had their hand in from the bottom up, right from the stairs outside to the garage. They gutted everything and painted everything. It looks so cute. I'm just so happy for them. They got it open. Yeah. So if you ever find yourself out in that area, stop by they've got ice cream, lattes, and hot dogs, apparently.
Especially with this heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I'm going to toodle off. So thank you. Nice to see you, ladies. Sorry it was
Thanks
short-lived for me. But
Yeah, we'll see you again
Bye.
next month, if not before.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Trisha, can I pop by tomorrow and get that stamp set for Dolores?
Yes, for sure. I will leave it in the mailbox
Please.
before I go to work, along with her two pity prizes. I still have the sticky note sitting there waiting, so I don't know why I didn't throw it in your bag before.
Oh, that doesn't matter. I forgot, and Dolores said, "Did you manage to pick up?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was because I haven't played bingo in 2 months because the
All I
internet
can say
connection
is thank goodness for the
out
sticky
there."
note system. I write your name on it immediately. Do not when someone wins, do not let me not write it on a sticky note because I get those sticky notes. And if it doesn't go on a prize right away, it goes on the side of my cube, my cubes. And I'm like, my sticky notes are there. And once it's done, it's out.
That is done. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Kim, for all your creativity, and thank you again for hosting, Trisha. And we'll see you guys. I'm not sure. Well, the soiree, we're at the lake. We've got company. And I'm not sure about the fall, our team meeting next time.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy the rest of summer.
Yeah, I'm hoping. It's just,
too.
yeah, like I was saying yesterday, it'll be interesting. Rob went out yesterday because there was 5 RVs that caught fire at 2:30 in the morning and wiped them out. I guess a lot of the boats have damage from the embers going with the trees, but we were lucky. We were upwind, not downwind, and no casualties, thank God, because they got everybody up. It's pretty devastating. Just everything's gone. Just gone.
Not
Sad.
just the trailers, but all the trees all around it.
Yeah. Yeah, everything. 2 or 3 vehicles went up as well that were parked in front, and I don't know, they don't know, nobody's saying what they think might have started it, so.
And
But
where,
yeah,
is that
that's
at
the bad
Skeleton
thing.
Lake?
Skeleton, yeah, we're at Shoreline Shore, which is on the south shore of Skeleton. And Skeleton also has what they call the Narrows, so it's kind of like a main lake. And then it's like reeds that you can go very slowly through with a boat. And then it comes out the other side, which is all beautiful, beautiful, not cabins, houses, like $1.5 million houses with.
That must be one of Corey's, right, Chantel? Is that where Corey's cabin is? Is in those
Yes,
mansions?
Corey Forge. Yeah, she's at Miwatha. Miwatha
Yeah, she's
is
in
right-
Hiawatha. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the beautiful places too. Yeah. But we're further east down
Yeah.
the highway towards Caslin from her. But yeah,
Well, thank goodness yours is
it's
okay.
pretty
but still
scary.
your
I'm glad
neighbors,
we weren't
no?
there. What's
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I was just
I like the way the puppy's sleeping behind you with his head on the.
Yeah, finally. Rob made steak and stuff for supper, so I was kind of munching away and she was bugging me, barking like, okay, fine, I'll give you a piece. And then she wouldn't stop bugging me. So she's finally given up and she's now sleeping. I said she's just barking because she wants to be on TV too. She watches TV. So she was looking, she looked up and good. I said, well, look at the TV. And she's looking. I'm like, well, there's no puppies on there. And she's like, what?
Oh, I
Where's the
can
puppies? Oh,
Just popped up.
she's like, puppies? Where's the puppies?
Oh yeah, here she
Are you
comes.
coming over? Who's that?
Hi, River.
Who's that? Is there puppies? Is there puppies? Are you gonna bark?
Yep.
There you go.
You remember me? Can't
Yeah,
smell
do you
me.
hear Patricia? Yes, yes. Okay, no more barking now. Okay. She sees
Patricia.
herself. Okay, sorry.
Cute. I know that's like Luna when we have her out on the deck and she sees her reflection in the patio doors.
Same here. Okay, I'm gonna go because she's gonna. She
Yeah,
sees
sounds good.
herself. Okay. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Right.
You.
Take care.
I just don't know how I'm getting out of here.
That's okay. I'll end it.